everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing the opposites book tag. Tag that I actually saw on Instagram where you find book titles that have opposite words in them, and I will sort of explain as we go. I did look up opposites book tag on YouTube as well. It appears there is a different opposites book tag, which I'm not doing today. Let me know if you'd want to see another type of this, because I haven't done book tags in a while, but I do like doing them. But basically I went through all of my books in a sort of quick manner because of the fact that I didn't put a video out on Tuesday. We are too busy this weekend. This week is full of half days for Presley, so my schedule's a little bit off. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try, with the help of Goodreads, because I have way too many books, to just see like what kind of opposites can I actually put together. So for example, if one book has the word first in the title, you would try and find a book with the word last. I did have some of those. I actually did not use those ones. I did have inspiration from Instagram. Like I said before, I will leave the people that I looked at down below in case you want to check out their pages on Instagram, because I do love following them. But I really was just trying to figure out what is the opposite of certain words. So, for example, the first opposite pair that I have here is night and day. So I have Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston and Dusk or Dark or Dawn or Day by Sean McGuire. These are two books that I have read, and so the opposites are night and day. This is a middle grade fantasy series with our main character Amari. This is the first book in the series, and it's basically like a Men in Black meets fantasy, where like fantasy creatures and magic and things are in our world, but like we don't know about it. I gave this one 5 stars, absolutely love it. And Dusk or Dark or Dawn or Day is a novella from Sean McGuire, which is not part of the Wayward Children series, and it's about ghosts, and like other ghosts are going missing. I really love this one as well, 5 out of 5 stars. I just loved like how the ghost element was handled, and like how, yeah, they're dead, they're ghosts, but like people can still see them, they're still part of the world. I don't hear people talk about this one enough. I really love this one. The next pairing I have here is Love and Hate. So I have My Love Mix Up. This one's volume 1 by Wataru Hinakure. And then I also have Scorpio Hates Virgo by Anita Sunday. So the manga, My Love Mix Up, over here, I have read all of them. I recently finished volumes 8 and 9, which are the last 2 in the series, during the 30 and 30 manga challenge this year. And again, I love this one, 5 out of 5 stars. It is a male-male romance set in high school, and it is dealing with a love mix-up. One boy borrows an eraser from a girl that he has a crush on, and it has a different boy's name on it. When he drops the eraser, that boy whose name is on the eraser picks it up, thinks it's his eraser, thinks he has a crush on him. It is all based on that mix-up. I found the art style really cute, the characters really cute. I loved that we were going through a sort of like identity, figuring things out type of situation. I just really love this one. Again, 5 out of 5 stars. And then Scorpio Hates Virgo. I think I gave this one a 4 when I read it. It is another male-male romance dealing with astrology. So one of the characters is a Scorpio, one is a Virgo. And so this one, from what I remember, was more of like an enemies to lovers type of romance. This is a series where every single book has different astrology signs for the characters. Some of them I've rated 5 stars. One of them I think I gave like a 3.5 because it just like wasn't my tropes, but like throughout the series you will have tons of different tropes. We do have a lot of like different, not necessarily like questioning your sexuality and stuff, but like a lot of characters are either gay or bisexual. And in one of the books of the series, I think we also had a demisexual character, so I liked the representation a lot. I like the buildup of the romances and the friendships in here. So even though it says hate, it's an enemies to lovers romance. The next one I have here is Bad and Good. So I have The Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket, which is the first book in the series of unfortunate events. I also have For Goodness Sake by Kaylin Smith. This is an indie comic series, and this is the omnibus edition, the bind up of everything. Again, I love these ones. It's been a while since I read The Bad Beginning. Like, I definitely want to try to read and finish this series. I never finished reading the books, even though they came out when I was in elementary school. But I did watch the show on Netflix, which I really, really enjoyed. And this follows the Baudelaire orphans, and they have a really, really bad series of unfortunate events that start with their parents dying and then becoming orphans. But yeah, I remember the humor and stuff in it, and so obviously I have a copy that's signed, actually. And then I have For Goodness Sake. This one I absolutely love. 5 out of 5 stars. Everything that Kaylin Smith does basically is 5 out of 5 stars. And it follows these two characters here. We have Thatcher, who has been cursed to look like a demon, and we have Rain, who is sort of a hippie with a school bus, like literally lives in a school bus. And she takes it upon herself to try and figure out why he's cursed and how to break it. Again, I really, really love the art style in here. I love Kaylin Smith's characters, and so like they always have like a friendship relationship type of thing. There is usually a little bit of romance, which again I do love, and so yeah. The next opposite I have here is Life and Death. So I have Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, and I have Death Vigil by Stay Up on Sage. So Get a Life, Chloe Brown is an adult romance. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars, and I will say I recently, this year, read Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I think I love that one more, even though I gave both books 5 stars. I think, again, the tropes are better for me personally in that one. But this one we follow Chloe Brown, who does have a chronic health condition, and so she decides to make like a bucket list trying to get her a life, and that's where it goes, and I just really, really loved this one. So yeah, this one is also a comic series. This is published by Image, but I know volume 2 is like on his Patreon, which I have not funded yet, but like I love this one so much. 5 out of 5 stars. I need more in this series. This is dealing with like necromancers and people that are on the death vigil after they have previously passed and now they're like working. It does have lots of fantasy paranormal elements. It is action-packed in places, but the humor is like really, really good. So I need more in this series. And it's been a while. Like, I need more. Okay, the next pairing I have here is Dark and Light. I have Home Before Dark by Riley Sager and A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. These are both adult novels. Home Before Dark is a mystery, thriller type of one. It is very much an is it paranormal or is it not paranormal type of story, because we have two sort of timelines in here. One is present day with our main character who is going back and trying to sell the house she grew up in because her father has passed away. And she doesn't know if the second timeline, which is actually a book that her father wrote about their house saying it was haunted, is true or not. Like, she doesn't remember her childhood there, doesn't remember if it actually is haunted or not. And so we're left with a lot of like questions when we go through this, leading into different reveals and things, because like we don't know if it's haunted or not. She doesn't know if it's haunted or not. I really love this one, and I think it is my top Riley Sager book. This is the third book in the Darker Shade of Magic series. I think it's like Shades of London, something like that. I absolutely love this series. It is very magical and fantastical, and it follows our main character, Kel, as he traverses through 4 different types of Londons. Some have magic, some don't. I really love the world building in it, and I love that book 3 is the chunkiest one out of all of them, but it's partly because we get introduced to different characters in book 1 and book 2 that you sort of grow to love and want to know more about, and so it definitely comes to a head in this third book. And it's just like a series that I definitely need to reread because I loved it so much. The next pairing that I have here is Summer and Winter. Now, the one that I have for summer here is Fat Witch Summer by Lizzie Ives. I have not read this one before. It is on my TBR, so I did go through some of my TBR books as well. But when I know I had Winter's Orbit and I saw Summer, I was like, Winter and Summer is the perfect opposite, especially since here we're getting into autumn. So we're leaving summer, going to winter. I had to pick these. Fat Witch Summer is an indie published book. I did actually fund it on Kickstarter. I was actually hoping to pick it for the book club this year, but I moved over the summer and we're not in summer anymore. So potentially next year, let me know what you think. But it is about a witch character who, I believe in this world, once they reach a certain age, they can have a certain type of magic. And I think their parents get to choose it, and her mother is a little obsessed with weight. So we'll see how that plays into here. If there's too much fat phobia, we'll see. But she decides to take it into her own hands because she loves the way that she is. She doesn't care that she is fat or anything like that. So she decides to run away with some other witches to pick their own magic. Like, I really want to see what this is about. Then we have Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell, one of my top books. Like, I think it was my favorite book the year I read it. It is sci-fi, it is romance, it is mystery, and I think my biggest thing that I loved about this was all of the characters. This is a queer normative world, but the actual like 2 main characters that we follow I thought were really, really well developed. They're not like perfect characters. Things get messy. There are some triggers and content warning things in here because one of the characters does have like a previous abusive sort of relationship. And I just loved how everything came together, especially because it wasn't just a romance set in space or anything like that. Like, every single genre that I mentioned was at the forefront of this story. And so like when I read it, I just absolutely fell in love with it because it wasn't a traditional romance or a traditional sci-fi. Like, I just loved the characterization and the buildup of all of that. I need to read more by this author. The next pairing that I have here is Never and Always. I have The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness and Always Only You by Chloe Leese. So The Knife of Never Letting Go is a book that I've read before. I gave it 5 stars back when this edition came out. I don't remember exactly when, but it was like when I was working at Barnes & Noble the first time. I saw it. It was gorgeous. I had to have it. This is a sort of sci-fi dystopian. It's been a while since I read it, so I don't know which one exactly, but this is a world where our main character grows up knowing everybody's thoughts. Like, you can just hear everybody's thoughts. And when I say everybody, I mean even like his dog and the animals that are there. And at one point he discovers an area where you can't hear someone else's thoughts. I really, really love this story. I do want to say that there are some places in here where, because of hearing other people's thoughts and stuff, like the way, I'm gonna have to put that book down, the way that you like see this, like, it's something that was super new to me when I first picked this up. Like, I hadn't really seen that sort of like design of the text and the words anywhere else. Because of that, some of this is a little bit hard to read. They do have a very like interesting dialect, but I really, really enjoyed reading this. It does get hard in certain parts. Like, this is not a like happy-go-lucky YA novel, but I love this series, and like this was an amazing first book. The next one that I have was Always Only You by Chloe Leese. This is the second book in the Bergman Brothers series, which means I have not read this one because I've only read the first one. I want to reread that one and then jump into the rest of the series, even though I know I don't necessarily have to. They're like companion novels. But it is adult romance. It looks like hockey romance. I'm pretty sure a lot of these ones have sports in them. Maybe not hockey necessarily. And I'm pretty sure based on the cover of this one, our female main character has a chronic illness. I don't know specifically off the top of my head which one, but I do love the idea that Chloe Leese includes a lot of different disabilities and things in her books, in her writing. She is also an autistic author, so we do have those characters also pop up sometimes. Again, I don't know which characters in which books because I have not read this one, but we did have the word always. The next pairing I have here is King and Queen. This may be a stretch. Maybe some people don't think this is an opposite. I thought it worked, especially since I'm currently listening to The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. I actually have, I think, an hour, maybe a little bit less than an hour left to go in this audiobook. I am devouring it. I need to know what happens. I'm loving that this is growing from the first book in the series, where the first book was basically just like finding Glendower. And then we've gotten new characters and gotten to know the characters even better. And now things have sort of snowballed from there. I need to finish this. And then I also have Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. This is the third and final book in the Dark Artifices series, which is the sequel series to the Mortal Instrument series. Yes, I know the Shadowhunters world and series are a little bit complicated, but I think I gave this one 5 stars as well because I really, really love the writing style and the characters and how everything comes together. I do think this is one of my least favorite series that she's done. Not in a bad way, because I still gave everything like 4 or 5 stars in general. It is very chunky, but I think it's just like some of the problems for some of the characters. I didn't like the main characters as much. Actually, that's a very common thing for me with Cassandra Clare's stuff. I usually fall in love with the side characters, and one thing I will say is some of the side characters in here are supposed to be the main characters in the Wicked Powers series, which is the next series for the Shadowhunters world that she's working on, so I'm very excited for that. Again, a solid ending to a series. It's just the main characters of this series, not as much my favorite as the side characters. That happens a lot with me. And then I have one more pairing for today. I did find quite a few actually, and it is going to be me and you. I have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata and Say You'll Be Mine by Naina Kumar. These are both romances, but I thought Me and You just was like a good ending for an opposites video like this. So The Wall of Winnipeg and Me is a sports romance, football. I think I gave this one 4 stars. It was my first ever Mariana Zapata. It is very, very big. I read this as an ebook the very first time I read it, and so I think it was much, much easier to like read it and not realize exactly how big it was. But this is sort of like a fake dating marriage of convenience type of one, because our main character, that is the guy, I believe is Canadian or something like that, and he needs somebody to marry him so he can get his green card type of thing, and he wants to marry his assistant who like basically just quit. She didn't want to work for him anymore and gets roped into this situation. It is very slow burn, like a lot of Mariana Zapata's books, but I think because of that I really enjoy them, even if they're not a full 5 stars, because I do really like the sort of build-up of the friendship and relationship, like all the romance and like will they won't they stuff first before we actually get into like the yes they are in a relationship or yes they finally kissed type of things. I know it's not everybody's jam, but it is definitely mine. And then the other one is Say You'll Be Mine by Naina Kumar. This was one of our book club picks for this year. I gave this one a 4 star as well. I really did enjoy it, and even though it is much, much shorter. And this is another fake engagement actually one, and I really liked the characters. Again, there were some choices in here where I was like wanting to bang the female character over the head because she kept like thinking the wrong thing, but the guy character, I really, really liked him. I liked his point of view. I liked being able to see their families and how their culture and everything works in here as well, because that was sort of why they needed a fake fiance, was the sort of like marriage conversations between people they don't know, like arranged marriage type of things. I really had a fun time with this. I want to check out more by this author because I believe this was her debut as well, so like a very good start. And so that is going to be it for today. I don't even know how many opposites that was. 9 maybe? 9 total opposites. Again, I was just very quickly going through and figuring out what opposites I had. I probably could have pulled out a little bit more if needed, but I had a fun time with this. Again, like I said before, there is another opposites tag on YouTube specifically that has questions that you have to actually answer versus just finding opposites. But I liked that this was a way for me to show some books and actually see how many books I had that had opposite words in the title. And so yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays, so I will see you then. Bye!